All right. That was abrupt.
What you mean?
I mean, that was abrupt. What is going on, LBHT crew? B, what is going on?
Not a whole lot, actually. Using my new computer, and I'm not sure if that intro played twice because when it initially started playing, it was so loud in my ears that I could not think anything, and I was desperately looking for the volume button, which I hit, volume down multiple times, but it did nothing because my headphones are plugged into my monitor and not the computer, and it was it was an ordeal.
But Apple's so great.
Apple is
Apple is
great.
so great.
I'll
No,
have you know that this is not an Apple monitor or Apple headphones, sir.
but no, seriously though, like it's neither. It's this software that we're using. Hopefully this is the last time we're using it. If you see the mishaps that go on behind the scenes, you would understand, right? Like the intro, it plays on a loop before we go live, and then once it goes live, it's supposed to play one full time. But this thing is a little tricky. Anyway, we're here. What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio version of this, it is Thursday. We put this out at lunchtime, so we hope you're enjoying your lunch. All right. Listen, okay. We don't talk too much politics on here, but we don't shy away from it either. But I just want to put this out now. We'll talk more about this on the overtime show. If you're one of the 10,000 people, federal workers that submitted your resignation today, write them back and say, just joking. Because I know they told you that they'll pay you. They'll give you pay leave until September. That's a lie. Okay. Do not be conned by this guy. Okay. Go back to work. Okay. Make him force you out, which he won't. Do not submit your resignation. That is a trick. That's a scam. Treat that email like a scam email. All right. Put that in the spam folder. Yes. Oh, what's going on, Yolanda? She says, yes, that's right. She agrees with me.
What's up, Yolanda?
She probably talking about something else. But Osmond's in the house. What's going on? Osmond says, hey, Jose, Brodny, and chat.
What's up,
Salute
Osmond?
to you, Osmond. Just Aloe in the house says, what up, LBHT crew? I hope everyone is doing well. I think my hateration stopped the Bills from winning Sunday. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about that. All right. I have no hate for the Bills, man. I have no hate for the Bills. I like Josh Allen. I like the team. Don't like the coach. But I wasn't rooting against him. I'll tell you that. I don't root against the Chiefs either. But it was just a good game. But we'll get into that. D Weezy in the house. What's going on, D Weezy? Says LBHT in the building. Salute to you. Zeke Hokage, what's good? Says Jose and Brodny, what's good, unks and everyone. Salute.
What's up, Zeke?
Chris M. Is it? Yes, Chris, right? That's how you say it. Chris. What's going on, Chris? Says hello, everyone. Hello to you. Thanks for coming through.
Hello.
Herb is in the house. Says Coach sent me. Salute to Coach. Appreciate you, Coach. Coach and Chris just did. They just did some. I'm not sure what they reviewed today. What did they guys? What did they review? If you came over from that chat, I know Coach has been putting out a lot of content. When the Ravens season's over, he wastes no time breaking down tape for prospects, and I know we're friends with Coach. I know we collab with Coach, but I really do believe, man, like he's one of those people that the Ravens organization needs to contact him and get his input on these players. I think he does a better job than the organization. I'm just gonna put it out there. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Who else we got in here? Andrew. What's up, Andrew?
What's going on, Andrew?
Is this our guy, Andrew?
I don't think so. It's a different color.
Yeah, he says, how are you guys doing? We're doing well, Andrew. How are you doing? Appreciate you coming through. All right. Thanks for asking. All right, look. Ravens season is over, but we still have a lot to talk about. We got a Super Bowl coming up. I think it's going to be an exciting Super Bowl. All right. I'm rooting for the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
But We'll see how it goes, man. The Chiefs, they're built to win, and we're going to talk about what we can learn from the Chiefs for our team moving forward. As the Ravens already made some moves, big moves, exciting moves.
They sure did. Well, I mean, big and exciting is debatable, but they made some moves.
Yeah, yeah, they made some moves. Big Reg, what's good? Says what's up, everybody? What's up with you, Big Reg? Salute to you. All right, we're gonna make this a shorter stream. Okay, it's not gonna be 2 hours. And then we're gonna do an overtime show. It's gonna be an open mic night. I gave you a little taste of what we're gonna discuss because we got to talk about these federal workers, man. Don't quit your job. Okay, don't quit your job. We'll get into that and whatever else you want to talk about. All right. Press start 410. What's good? Our guy AD. You see that logo right there? It's new, right? It's new. That's because AD is starting his own podcast, and he is very close to launching it. Okay, so go to Press Start 410. He'll be talking all things: video games, wrestling. All right, pop culture. He is a expert in the music industry. He was in the music industry for many years, so he has tons of
Now, if you
stories and
hear
a wealth
his
of
Drake
knowledge.
takes,
well, he was on the overtime show last time we spoke about it, and he sees some of the error in Drake's ways.
yes,
He did nothing wrong, but Drake did a lot wrong. All right, press start 410. Go check him out. Go subscribe now because his podcast was going to be called Pause. Is it called? I think it's called Pause. That will be dropping in the near future. So
gotta get it going for the Rumble next
yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun over there. And Suge Knight 323 might make an appearance on there. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Kilpy. Is that how you say it? Kilpy? He says it's the next year thinking every year for a minute. Something has to give. We know 15 a GOAT candidate, but man. You talking about Josh Allen?
No, he's talking about the Ravens.
He says number 15. 15 is Josh Allen, isn't he?
No, he's talking about Mahomes.
Oh,
Josh Allen's 17.
they're both 15, aren't they?
No, Josh Allen's 17.
He's 17?
17.
Oh, okay. He said, yeah, okay, we got the name right. Kilpy. Okay.
You should have known because Josh Allen ain't no GOAT candidate.
I mean, Josh Allen is great. He's a great, yeah, Tom Patrick. He's a great player.
Okay, I didn't know, but you saw the picture that we posted in the Discord, right? The how it started and how it's going.
Disrespectful, man.
0 MVPs, 0 first team All Pros, 0 Super Bowl wins. Yeah, and that's also how it's going, right?
But he's got a beard now.
Okay? Yeah, beard.
It's a nice beard. Yeah, no, Mahomes isn't a GOAT candidate. He is the GOAT. I'm sorry. He's the GOAT. If we're doing an all-time draft, you could draft any player at any era, right? Right now. Who are you picking? Right? I know you're not picking Tom Brady. Right? It's probably Mahomes. Lamar second. Okay? Super Bowl wins or not. Mahomes is great. I'm sorry, man. Like he's great. It is what it is.
Thank you for the super chat, Adrian. Just don't pause the donations, family.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. DJ Amp says, "Who's a coach?" That's a good question. You know what? We are going to get into that in the overtime show. We're going to do like a semi all-time draft. Build your team all time. What kind of coach you want? What coach do you want? What players do you want?
Well, you're the GM, DJ, and you know what's funny? If Bill Belichick's the coach, he ain't picking Tom Brady either.
No, he's not. There's a ton of quarterbacks I think he'll pick before Tom Brady. Yes, and you're the GM because you can do a better job than most GMs. I promise you. Most of these GMs should not have had their jobs.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We got some things to discuss. All right. We don't want to be here for 2 hours, so we're going to get to it. But first, we have a Black History fact? Yeah, of course we do. We have a Black History fact because that's how we like to start every show. And B and Okole have a Black History fact for you.
Welcome to this week's Black History Fact. The Tuskegee Airmen were the United States' first group of African-American military aviators, and they made significant contributions and achievements during World War II, formerly known as the 332nd Fighter Group and the 477th Bombardment Group of the United States Army Air Forces. They were trained at the famed Tuskegee Army Airfield in Alabama. The airmen not only comprised pilots, but also navigators, bombardiers, instructors, aircraft and engine mechanics, control tower operators, and other ground support staff who ensured the success of their missions. Combat record and missions. The Tuskegee Airmen flew over 15,000 individual sorties across Europe and North Africa. These missions were crucial in providing air support, protecting bombers from enemy fighters, and ensuring successful operations for the Allied forces. By 1944, the 332nd Fighter Group had earned a distinguished reputation for their skill and bravery. Notably, they successfully escorted bombers on strategic missions into Germany with an exemplary record, reputedly having the fewest bomber losses of any escort group. Their superior performance in combat did not go unnoticed. The Tuskegee Airmen received more than 150 distinguished flying crosses for their heroism and extraordinary achievement. In addition to these distinctions, their contributions were recognized with numerous other awards and decorations, highlighting their valor and dedication to duty. Beyond their impressive combat record, the Tuskegee Airmen played a pivotal role in challenging and changing the prejudiced views regarding African Americans in the United States military and society overall. The airmen's exemplary service and professionalism significantly contributed to the gradual integration of the U.S. Armed Forces in the post-war period. Lasting contributions. The impact of the Tuskegee Airmen extends far beyond World War II. They paved the way for future generations of African Americans and other minorities to serve in various capacities within the military and other fields, breaking down racial barriers and setting a precedent for equal opportunities. Their legacy serves as an enduring testament to perseverance, excellence, and the fight for equality and justice.
All right, salute to the Black History fact. I missed this comment earlier, man. Kings of Rings Arrowhead. Salute. Thanks for coming through. Says, yo, line them up for next season. For Pete. Dang, Kings of
There you
Rings.
go.
You don't give the Eagles a chance at all?
I mean, nah.
Hey, I understand the confidence. You went to 3 Super Bowls in a row. I get it. If I was a Chiefs fan, I would think we're going to win all of them as long as Pat Mahomes is healthy or not. He won one of the Super Bowls when he had a bum leg. As long as he's out there, you expect to win. I get it. Phantom Cyborg, salute. What's good? Says, what's good, LBHT? What's good with you, man? Thanks for coming through. That damn Dub says, what up, y'all? Another year of everyone still having it better than us, eh? Yeah, hey, listen, only one team can win it every year. And it
And
seems
you
like it's
mean
going to
that
be the Chiefs.
literally.
Yeah.
Only
Just
the
one.
Kansas City Chiefs can win it every year.
I'm picking the Eagles in this game.
Nah, you don't. You're not picking. You picking with your heart, not with your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the Chiefs.
They're good enough to win. The Chiefs, I don't know, man. Like they don't look like a dominating team, but they just don't lose. They just don't lose. I listened to the I think it's Buffalo Fanatics, their stream. Rico and Z-Bot and all them. Z-Bot's a very emotional dude, by the way. I get it. You're passionate about your sports and everything. So I'm not laughing at all, but he shed a tear after the game, and like any sports fans, we did it after the Ravens lost. We do it after some Panthers games. Like, you start looking at everything your team did wrong, what went wrong in the game, and they weren't sitting there saying, "Oh, the Chiefs or the refs, screwed us," or anything like that. They just focused on what they did wrong. What I didn't agree with, what I think it was Zbot said, is that he kind of put it on Josh Allen. He said, "Hey, we put it on Lamar last week." You know, at least he did. And he's just like, "I'm putting this one on Josh Allen." I don't think Josh Allen did anything wrong in that game.
Yeah, he did. He did not
Well,
play well in that game.
well, early on, but it didn't result in turnovers. They
No,
should have
no,
resulted in turnovers.
but he didn't play well. He threw at least 2 passes that should have been intercepted.
Yes.
He fumbled twice and got stopped multiple times on the tush push, including that fourth down that gave the ball back to Kansas City. So he didn't play well.
The tush push is more about the line than the
Man,
quarterback.
that man is 6'5", 250 pounds. Bruh.
And Chris Jones can curl that. Okay, which is exactly what he did, by the way. He literally picked him up and said, "You're going this way." Right? What are you going to do about that?
Run. Do what you did to Roquan and Metabike. What do you mean? What are you going to do about that? What do you do? What do you do about it against Baltimore? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Listen, that's absolutely.
We don't have Chris Jones on our team. We had Chris Jones on our team. It would have been a different story.
It's not 100% on Josh Allen, but he did not play well, and he's gotta own that. And my God, I mean,
I don't think he.
listen. The salute to the writers on this one, because like I don't like to put that out there, but the writers coming through with the tight end dropping the pass at the end of the game, just like Baltimore's tight end, beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I haven't heard stories about the donations to Dalton Kincaid's charity though.
Chiefs fans just ain't got it like that, I guess.
Well, no, or from Bills fans. Like, where are you at on this one?
No. They're not supposed to do it for their team.
No, but that's
other
the thing,
teams.
because it's always reported as, "Oh man, what a classy bunch. Oh, look at them just making the donation." But you don't do it when you lose.
Right. Well, your man needs to be picked up.
Like, come on, bro. That's not about being classy. That's about rubbing his face in it.
And I don't like that narrative either. Don't compare Dalton Kincaid to Mark Andrews. Don't let Mark Andrews off the hook like that. Dalton Kincaid, that would have been a tough catch, right? Had he caught that pass, we'd be saying, "Oh, amazing catch, right?" Because it was thrown up there. It wasn't really thrown to him. He threw it up there and he dove to catch the ball. Did it go through his hands? Yeah, it went through his hands, right? He should have caught it, but you can't compare that to Lamar telegraphing to Mark Andrews, "Hey,
he did it.
Catch this. I'm going
like
to."
Mark was his 8-year-old son. He was having a catch with. He's like, I'm getting ready to throw it. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it now.
Yeah, and he's like, "Okay, Dad."
Got you, Dad.
And he just drops it.
Like,
right?
You have a do-over? And he's like, "Fucking no, Mark. Get to the bench. There's no do-overs in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs."
So I think Josh Allen kept them in the game, especially getting that touchdown. Getting that touchdown right before halftime was huge.
Well, but that was the touchdown that was pretty much entirely James Cook, right? That drive. So I would not say that he kept him in the game.
And he got another touchdown on the same play, like a pass across the middle. I think Josh Allen. I think he did good.
That's fine. You can say he didn't play poorly the entire game, but he didn't play well. He had at least 5 turnover-worthy plays. They had incredible luck in that game.
Yeah, sometimes you need that.
Sometimes you need more than that. Unbelievable luck in that game. They came through with no turnovers.
Yeah, but I did want to point this out, and this is where we get into the Ravens talk, right? Because there was some debate, and there still is debate about who's more at fault for Ravens losing to the Bills, Lamar or Mark Andrews. And it's not really a debate; it's Mark Andrews' fault. I don't care how you want to slice it, right? But yeah, Lamar, the turnovers hurt us. They shouldn't hurt us, right? We should be able to overcome turnovers, which he did.
Yeah.
He did, right? But in that Chiefs and Bills game, Pat Mahomes fumbled the ball. He actually fumbled it twice. Right, he on the same drive they called holding or whatever on the defense. Got another shot. He fumbled again, lost the ball. Right, I think the Bills end up scoring later on. Um, but it didn't matter because the Chiefs are a great team. They play team football, and Mahomes doesn't have to have a great game for them to win.
Right.
Lamar has to play perfect or we don't win because we're not a great team. There's a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of flaws in our team, and we are not really right now a Super Bowl competing team. We're just propped up as that because we have a great player in Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
But if he slips up a little bit, he didn't play terrible in that Bills game. He got off to a bad start.
Yeah.
So what? Why? Why is it he turns the ball over and that has to convert to points? Why can't the defense say, "All right, you turn it over, we're gonna get it right back"?
Yeah.
Because we're not built like that. We prop ourselves up to be that team, but we're not that team. You know, we have some talent on the defense? Yeah, we got talent. They don't, we don't have the coaching to match it. Sorry.
No, not at all. On either side of the ball, which makes it curious what happened the other day. But we'll deal with one topic at a time. We're talking about whether or not the Ravens can make a Super Bowl run next year. No, I'm not picking the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl again until the week before the Super Bowl when I know that they are playing in the Super Bowl.
Well,
I'm tired of it.
well, the answer is yes, they can. As long as Lamar is there, they can because luck could bounce our way, right? It could be one of those games where the other team just doesn't bring the A game that day, and Lamar just doesn't turn the ball over, and we win, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean
it's
anybody can. Like the Titans can make a Super Bowl run next year. I'm
I
not going to
think
believe it in Baltimore.
well, yeah, yes, you're discouraged by the moves that this organization is making, but Lamar gives them a chance every year. So yes, they can,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what do they need to do? Because obviously, Harbaugh's coming back. We're going to talk about Tom Monken in a second. Uh, what can they do to mitigate some of these poor front office mistakes uh, to make you feel more confident in them next year?
I'm just not going to be confident in them next year. Like I have to. They are at the point where I have to see it to believe it 100%.
Yep.
Because they were the best team in the league last year.
Yep.
Not the year before, and they got beat. They came back this season. They added the best offensive weapon that they've had next to Lamar in his entire career, and they lost a round earlier than last year, right? John Harbaugh, we all said, "Oh man, he can't Harbaugh it up when you've got Derrick Henry out there," but he did. He Harbaugh'd it up. There was a lot of poor coaching going on in that game. It wasn't the only reason that they lost, but they will not stick to their identity. And as long as he's the coach, I don't believe that he's going to show up in big games and have that team ready to go. They're never prepared. They're never prepared for the moment in those kind of games.
And look, I can't argue with that. Willie Seaborn says, "What's good, fellas? I'm a Ravens fan by default until they decide to actively get serious about going to a Super Bowl and not just making the playoffs." I hear that. I hear that. Let's see who else we got in here. Daniel Franklin says, "Good isn't enough to beat Kansas City." I hear that too. You're not gonna get too much argument from me on these talking points. Big Red says, "I have to apologize to everyone. I'm the reason the Ravens lost. I went against my rule and I picked the Ravens to. Oh, he picked the Ravens to win and they didn't. See,
Mm-hmm.
Big Red after the bye, he decided I'm going to pick against the Ravens every week, and the mind games, deception. Okay, they worked. Okay, he psyched the Ravens into winning, and then he doomed them. The minute Big Reg picked them to win, they were doomed. Okay. So Big Reg, you know what to do next year. All right. Pick against them all season and into the playoffs. We're going undefeated, baby. Let's go. Let's see who else is in here. Nigerian Nightmare was good. So the good family was good with you. Thanks for coming through. Felipe Marino, what's good? Says John is firing everyone. He is in the hot seat. He's not in the hot seat. That wasn't even brought up. Right. In fact, he might get an extension here soon too, because this is the last year of his deal coming up. And Steve Bisciotti does not like having coaches on a 1-year deal. So unless he decides I'm going to coach 1 more year and call it a career, or just go somewhere else, he's in no danger of being fired. Like it's quite the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay, it's quite the opposite. Who else is in here? Tracy, what's up, Tracy? Says hello, guys. Today I heard a bunch of Eagles fans saying they would love to have Lamar Jackson as their QB, along with their great players on offense and defense. Could only imagine. Well, I would love to have their players. Okay.
Yeah.
We're keeping Lamar.
And this is why I know you don't agree, but this is why I call Jalen Hurts a fraud, because think about if Lamar Jackson was the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, who would you be picking in the Super Bowl? Who would everybody be picking in the Super Bowl? They'd be the overwhelming favorite to win. They've got a great defense. They've got a great offensive line. They've got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They've got Dallas Goedert. They have the best running back in the league. And then there's Jalen. And that's the reason that everybody is like, I don't know.
I don't think that's fair. Like, okay, he's not Lamar Jackson. Nobody is, right? There's only maybe 2 quarterbacks that you would say, all right, you could put them on any team and they're gonna win, right? Like Pat Mahomes, you feel that way about?
But I think there's a lot of quarterbacks who you could say, I'll put them on Philly and they're going to win. That's
I don't
the
think
issue.
so.
That's the issue. And Jalen Hurts is not one of them. So
I don't think there are that many quarterbacks that you would say put them on Philly and I pick them over the Chiefs.
I think there are. I think this is a good number. You got. I mean, if we're going to say the Chiefs, I'm not going to say Mahomes, but we got Lamar, Burrow, yes, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. I mean,
I don't know.
I would take him. I
don't think Dak is bad. I don't know about Jared Goff either, because Jared Goff already has a ton of talent.
No. But they didn't. The talent didn't play though. So
this year, but last year they did.
Last year was their first time in the playoffs. They got to the NFC Championship game. I mean, and they lost to one of the most talented teams in the league. In San Francisco, so
and that team lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah, but that's Shanahan though. He can't win when he gets there. But I think there's a good number of quarterbacks that you could say, hey, I'm going to put them in there. I listen. You might not agree with this one, but Jaden Daniels. I know every single person out in the DMV gonna say Jaden Daniels. Jordan Love. I mean, listen.
Definitely not Jordan Love.
Listen,
I have that. No,
the media will tell you Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. I've been hearing that all year.
No, we already saw what Sam Darnold can do.
I wouldn't say them, but I'm just saying that's the narrative that people have been putting out there.
I don't. So I don't agree with all the names that you said, right? Mm-hmm. But even with those names, he's still a top 10 quarterback. I'm not saying he's elite. Right? Don't get me wrong, but a fraud? I don't think he's a fraud. I think he's a good starting quarterback. You could definitely win with them. They almost beat the Chiefs the last time they played them in the Super Bowl.
But did they?
No.
They didn't, did they?
The only people that beat the Chiefs was Tom Brady.
Yeah. No, and Joe Burrow.
Well, yeah. Not in the Super Bowl, but yeah. Yeah. Look, man. But yes, look, Lamar with on the Eagles team, nobody could beat them. I would never pick them to lose a game ever. Mm-hmm. Right? Like that's how stacked they are. But Lamar on the Lions, I would never pick them to lose. Lamar in San Francisco, I would never pick them to lose.
That's the point. And Jalen's not one of those guys. Like I said, there's the top quarterbacks you put in on those teams, and you're like, yeah, nobody's beating them. And Philly, people look at them like, I don't know if they can win, even with everything that they have on the roster.
But who we call? But then a lot of people are frauds. Brock Purdy's a fraud.
Oh, I've been said Brock Purdy's a fraud, but here's the thing though. A lot of we're not saying that those other people are frauds because people aren't propping them up as if they're great quarterbacks.
I don't think anybody talks about Jalen Hurts as a great quarterback.
They do indeed.
He had a great year that year, went to the Super Bowl, but I don't think I've never heard his name being mentioned as a top quarterback.
I have, and I hated it. You know why? Because he's a fraud.
Yeah. What's up, Coach? Coach says running back.
Hold on, Coach.
Yes, we're talking about it now. What do we need to do to run it back? Not a lot of faith over here that they can, and is we gotta be real about it, man. I don't have a lot of faith in EDC. Don't have a lot of faith in John Harbaugh. Doesn't mean we can't get it done, but we have to get serious about getting talent on this team. And even then, it might take a little luck. All right. Speaking of luck, the Ravens they brought back two coaches. Right. One is Todd Monken. They extended him. Todd, I don't have any problems with Todd Monken. Right. He had an interview, I think it was with the Bears, right? I thought he had a shot at getting that job. But didn't happen. Todd Monken getting extended. Okay, fine. Like he's not G-Ro. He doesn't hurt Lamar. I just don't think he elevates Lamar, right? But him coming back, okay. You know, the offense will be fine. Lamar will be fine. He doesn't hold Lamar back. So that's a plus. The other move, bringing back Chuck Pagano. Why?
Because he doesn't know anybody else except who he knows already.
This is the problem with John Harbaugh. Chuck Pagano has been hired as the senior secondary coach. All he is another advisor to Zach Orr, because Dean Pease came in to help out Zach Orr, and Harbaugh said in the press conference, Dean Pease wants to spend a lot of time at home with his grandkids this coming season. But he's still
send him home then.
So that means Dean Pease is just he's part time. Okay,
yeah, send him home.
Yeah, he's adjunct faculty, adjunct coaching.
This is like when Phil Jackson asked to be the Knicks coach and only coach home games, and they were like, no. And that was an 11-time champion. Tell Dean Pease to pack up his desk and get the hell out.
So they're bringing in Chuck Pagano. They don't want to call him an advisor, right? Because then it's just like, well, why is your defensive coordinator need some of your advisors? So he's there as a senior secondary coach. What's a senior secondary coach?
I mean, he's the one that gets to tell the secondary coach what to do.
Right. Like, you need two people to run drills?
I mean, they were pretty bad. And with the number of safeties that you have, you know, one of them's going to handle just the safeties, one of them's going to handle the corners.
If you don't believe in Zach Orr, you gotta move him out the position. I ain't gotta say you're not saying you gotta fire him, but he can't be a defensive coordinator. You had your shot, didn't work out. We gotta get somebody more experience, and it can't be Chuck Pagano. When's the last time Chuck Pagano coached?
A couple of years ago. They were bad. He was the defensive coordinator for Chicago for a couple of years. They were not good. And that's why I just don't. People are all excited about this.
He's a DI.
Yes. And it's just like because it's Baltimore's specialty. This is their superpower that they have above everyone else in the NFL. They sell nostalgia like nobody else.
Right.
Like,
right.
Who in the last 6 months sat down and said, "Man, if only Chuck were here. If only we could get Chuck Pagano back." Nobody said that. Nobody's thinking about Chuck. Leave Chuck to be a guest on Pat McAfee's show. Do whatever he's doing. Go get a coach. Go get a real coach. Go get a current coach. Go get a guy who's coached well in this decade. What are you doing bringing Chuck Pagano back?
All that is he's on the phone with his friend Chuck, and he's just like, "You want to come back?"
He said that's exactly how it happened. He said they were just hanging out talking football, and he's like, and the job offer just came out of nowhere. And I'm just
guys, this is the problem with the NFL. This is why the Rooney Rule matters still. even though there's a lot of sham interviews, but at least it forces some of these coaches in positions to get in front of you know owner, GM, or whatnot. Um, and this is why we keep saying that at least half of the league isn't qualified for their job. Chuck Pagano's not relevant anymore, right? He can't be a defensive coordinator. He can't advise a defensive coordinator. He can't advise a secondary coach. Okay, he's not. Stay on Pat McAfee show. Okay, do that for a while. Talk about the good old days and all that stuff. You're not relevant to the game anymore. You provide nothing to the team. Why is he here? If you need a, how many teams have two secondary coaches? If
I'm willing to bet there's a decent number because, like you said, there's a lot of nepotism hires, a lot of nepo babies out there.
yes, they call different positions. Assistant head coach. Secondary assistant head coach. This. Who's the get back coach for the Rams?
Lord. I can't. There's nothing I hate more than coaches preaching discipline to their players and getting all upset when players get penalties and do stupid stuff on the field, but you can't keep your ass on the sidelines. You gotta have somebody to grab you by the belt and pull you back because you can't control yourself.
Right. If you need a secondary coach, go get a secondary coach.
Yeah.
Right. Get one that you know can handle the job. You just want to bring Chuck on because he's your friend, and you know that you don't have a strong coordinator. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Orr is young. The defense got better towards the end. Maybe he's better next year, but you don't have that faith in him yet. So you're bringing in some guys that are veterans, but not necessarily relevant to the game, but you know them. That's what I hate about this, because John Harbaugh is not one of those coaches that has a coaching tree that you can trust, right? He hasn't brought up any coaches that you can look at and be like, man, he knows his stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't trust him to bring in anybody either, right? Mike McDonald, I guess, will be the one guy. Well, you can kind of argue that that's more Jim than John.
I was gonna say Marvin Lewis, but that was Billy. Never mind.
Marvin Lewis, no.
It's been a while. Yeah.
John he hasn't brought up anybody.
Hold on. No, there's got to be something. I'm gonna think on that for a second.
Who is the best coach? Chat. Who is the best coach from John Harbaugh's tree? I think it's Mike McDonald.
Yeah, because it can't be Kubiak because he's not from Harbaugh's tree.
Kubiak's from Shanahan's tree.
Mark Trestman. There's really
Mark Trestman was coaching before John Harbaugh.
There's really nobody. Yeah.
Nobody. And he's been coaching a long time. Yep, it's Mike.
And Mike hasn't even done anything.
No. But an excellent defensive coordinator. Jim Caldwell isn't his either. That's Tony Dungy.
Jeez.
Jim Caldwell went to a Super Bowl before he came to the Ravens.
No, I thought it was after.
Nope, before. He was coaching. He was the offensive coordinator under Tony Dungy and the Colts. When Tony Dungy retired, he took over as head coach, and they went to the Super Bowl. Remember that year they should have went undefeated, and they sat all the guys in the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nobody. The answer's no one.
Yeah, Anthony Weaver isn't a head coach.
Yeah, and people are saying Denard's not a head coach either. So nobody.
Marvin Lewis wasn't under Harbaugh.
See, thank you, DJ. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, Marvin Lewis wasn't under Harbaugh. That was under Brian Billick.
Yeah. Yuck. They cannot let this dude hire anybody ever again.
Right. So he should be. It should be EDC saying, "Hey John, we're gonna bring in somebody for that side of the ball. Don't worry about it. Like, we'll take care of that. Well, I want to hire. No. You don't touch that. He's going to take care of the defense. This guy's going to take care of the offense. All right. You don't have any input. That's what needs to happen. It's the same thing I asked about Mark Andrews. How many years do you need to see it? right? I know some of you guys are still high on Mark Andrews, and I get it because in the regular season he does some very good things, and I think he's a good tight end. But how many times do you need to see it in the playoffs for you to realize he is not helpful for this team?
They should start doing like the positions on the field like they do with the coaching positions. And Mark Andrews is senior starting tight end regular season, and then playoff time, Isaiah Likely is a starting tight end postseason, right?
He can't get it done in the playoffs. It's been 7 years. I don't want to hear, oh, it's just a bad game. Oh, well, I still trust him. You still trust him? When did you start trusting him? He's never produced.
No.
You can't go 7 years, 8 playoff games, and no touchdowns. You've never been able to find an end zone, and you can't catch a 2-point conversion. I'm sorry. Maybe it's bad luck. It's the worst luck. We can't have bad luck on this team either. You got to go. You got to go. Speaking of got to go, Mark Andrews likely to not be traded this offseason.
teasing the next story here. Mark Andrews still here in 2025. Yeah, I mean that sounds like Baltimore. That sounds like Baltimore to me. You remember D Ford and
Yes.
how he jumped off sides a couple times and cost his team in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wasn't on the team
But you
anymore.
talking about for the Chiefs?
And then he wasn't on the team anymore.
Even though that one wasn't that was not his fault.
It was on the O lineman, but
It was an illegal formation. They should have called it.
But
Yeah.
and that's why they had the emphasis this year, and that's why you all got so many penalties.
Yeah.
But guess what? Guess what happened? He wasn't on the team after
He was
that.
on the team.
Like sometimes you just gotta say, hey, and it wasn't your fault. It's a team game, but we need a face for this failure, and you are the face of failure.
Hey, it's not your fault. It's a team game, but the team needs to go in another direction.
Yeah.
Right? Team needs to go in another direction. What's up, House? Says that gotta be fake news. It's no way they pay a backup tight end 17 mil.
Well, hate to be the bearer of bad news. He is not your backup tight end. So right. He's just the less talented one.
Hey, 70 people in here on a Wednesday night where no football's going on and our team's eliminated. Salute to y'all, man. Hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit that subscribe button, all right? Because we still got a lot of content to give y'all this off season. We got a lot to talk about. So stay locked in, okay? Just like Lamar. Lamar's locked in. Nobody else is locked in, but Lamar's locked in, okay? Appreciate y'all. And if you want to hang out with us on the Overtime Show, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT Show. For as little as $5 a month, you could be a part of that. Or if you just want to buy a particular episode, I think we sell for like $3. All right? So check it out. Mark Andrews is a starter. Mark Andrews, they after I heard Harbaugh talk about it in the press conference, I knew that he wasn't going anywhere. Right? He likes to double down because John Harbaugh has always been that guy that you can't tell him the obvious. Everybody's telling him the obvious. He's going to do the opposite. That's why the whole zig, everybody zigs, we zag. That is complete garbage, right? You know something's hurting the team, and you're going to double down on it. He hurts the team.
Sometimes everybody else went in the right direction.
He said something about, the team wouldn't have been in the position they were in if it weren't for Andrews this year. Lies. We didn't need Andrews for any of those wins.
No.
That's a damn lie. Give Isaiah Likely the ball in those situations and said number 2 tight end, and we still win.
And they already have Charlie Kolar to be the number 2 tight end. Like it would make absolutely no difference for Mark Andrews to be gone. And honestly, like he needs it too. You honestly think that after this many years and this many playoff games and having the entire season hit him in his stomach and just bounce off of him as he fell backwards into the end zone, do you think that he's going to come back in Baltimore and overcome that? No. Like he's going to be like Nick Anderson for the Magic. Remember, he missed those 2 free throws, and then he just couldn't play anymore. Like it just shattered him mentally. Mark Andrews needs to go, and he needs to put himself together elsewhere. Put himself
Some
back.
players can overcome it. And because he's not going anywhere, I'm going to root for it to happen, obviously. And I'll even taught myself by the time the playoffs come around next year that he will overcome it, like I did this year, right? Um, but it needs to happen in the first round of playoffs, or if we have a bye, the divisional round. It needs to happen the first game of the playoffs. He needs to go off. He can't just go out there and just look okay. He needs to go off. He needs to tell himself, all right, I let the team down last year. This year, I'm going to ball the hell out. Right? I cannot be stopped out there. Like he needs to get in that type of mentality. And I don't like right
In
now.
that mentality, that's why he said, "I'm going to juke past these 5 defenders," and he dropped the ball.
That was shameful. Yeah, Chris. Mark owes us big. He owes us big, and I think he's going to try. I don't think he goes out there and plays lazy or anything like that. Um, it just doesn't work out. You know why? Because the playoffs is a different game, right? Everybody's game is elevated. Some people don't have that second gear.
Well, and that's where the mental part of it really kicks in as well. Like some people just can't deal with the pressure of the moment. And listen, if you drop that 2-point conversion, you can't deal with the pressure. Like you just can't. That's not a place that you come back from. Like there are some guys who kind of wilt under the pressure a bit, but they'll still make that play. It's an easy play. He can't even make that catch. It's over in Baltimore.
Yeah. Press Star 410 says Mark's apology was bogus too. We don't want a damn apology. We deserve a Super Bowl.
Oh, you don't deserve a Super Bowl. That is for certain. You don't deserve a Super Bowl at all. You've done everything to prevent yourselves from winning a Super Bowl. You deserve nothing.
When he's talking about the fans,
the fans are part of it too.
It's not all the fans.
No, it's never 100% of anybody. It's some of these fans. I know Felipe's still in here.
Ed says, can't wait when the Ravens let Likely walk next year and extend Andrews. Oh my God. Yeah. That, Evil Lamar, what's going on? Shout out to you. I be saying what's going on. Says, does a parking cone have a gear? D Weezy says Mark Andrews has the L gear. Hey, I mean, yeah, I don't think he has a second gear. I think he is what he is. You can catch the ball though. That's not the first time he's dropped the ball in the playoffs. I don't know. That's what he's gonna have to do next year. I'm not gonna believe it until I see it. All right. I try to show some faith in him this year, and completely let us down, man.
It's the second best playoff game of his career.
Second best and the absolute worst at the same time. That fumble, had he held onto the ball, he just caught the ball and went down to the ground, and we continued that drive. I believe we scored a touchdown because we were building momentum there. They weren't able to stop the run at that point. We score a touchdown. We take the lead. I think that would have taken all of the steam out of the Bills. Mm-hmm. When I say take all the steam out, I mean they're tired now because we're running the ball, and we just and as good of a start as they got off to, and as bad a start we got off to, we're now ahead in the third quarter. Was it third or fourth quarter? Third quarter, and now they're behind. I think they changed the way they play. I don't think they're going to try to run the ball anymore. I think they're going to try to.
They're going to look at Josh and they're going to say, "Go win it."
Yeah,
and Josh will be like,
and that's when he gets into mistakes. Yeah, that's where you can kind of get him into mistakes and play into our hands a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. I think that would have completely changed that game, and we end up possibly a double-digit win just because of the how the game was going. But that fumble, man. And then for Lamar to fight back and get the pass to the real tight end one, Isaiah Likely, great catch. And for Lamar to just mess it up.
Yeah.
And John Harbaugh's at fault too for putting him in that position. Oh, by the way, that That's what I meant to do. I didn't queue up that video. Uh, AD from Press Start 410 said it last week. He's 100% correct. John Harbaugh did say in his press conference that on that drive where we got to the 2 yard line, first and goal from the 2 yard line, and Derrick Henry got the ball one time. One of those the play where Lamar got sacked, he drew up a pass play for Ronnie Stanley.
Lamar got sacked when you sent your left tackle out on a route. That's shocking.
Mm-hmm. And he was smug about it when he talked about it. Oh yeah, you call it a gimmick play, but if it works, then I'm a genius. Well, guess what? It didn't work because you're not a genius. Okay? You're not a genius. That is the dumbest thing you could do in that moment. I don't care if he got stopped on the first play. And then he's so smug to say, oh, well, they did the all-out blitz, and if you want to, I guess you want to run the ball 4 times against an all-out blitz. I don't know if that makes any sense. So you think they're going to run an all-out blitz every down?
Like they built the team to be this overwhelming physical juggernaut that is just going to break you, right? You go out there, you got Derrick Henry, 250 pounds. You got Lamar Jackson, who can run and is one of the best open field runners in the league. Then you can hand it to Justice Hill. You can hand it to Keaton Mitchell. And they're going to wear you down. They're going to beat you up on defense. They're going to break your will, and they're going to take the game, right? That's how they try to build the team. And then they go out there and they play the game like they're, probably not a lot of people are going to get this reference, but like they're Chris Bird as a heavyweight, right? Chris, you don't know Chris Bird. He was a lighter fighter who moved up to heavyweight and didn't have the power to be a heavyweight, so he had to run a lot. He had to dance around the ring and he had to stick and move, and he couldn't get into exchanges with heavyweights because he couldn't take the punches and he couldn't hurt them. And Baltimore acts like that when they get in these big games. They're like, man, what are we going to do with this huge offensive line and this massive running back? I know. Let's run a trick play and throw it to our left tackle who hasn't caught a pass probably in the last 15 years. Instead of just lining up and giving it to your running back 3 more times and trusting that he'll get 2 yards.
And guess what? Even if they ran that play and it worked, I would not be calling you a genius.
That was the dumbest call I've ever seen. Well, yeah. And then second and third are the 2-point conversions where you motion Derrick Henry out of the backfield and you say, guess what, Buffalo? You don't have to worry about him today.
Yeah. You can kick your feet up. We're talking about it now, but next time we go live, I'm going to have that queued up just so you guys can hear it. He absolutely said it. And why did you even say it? Nobody asked you about that particular play. Nobody asked him, hey, what happened on that play where Lamar got sacked? They said, why didn't you run the ball more? Why did you only run the ball one time with Derrick Henry? He could have given the John Harbaugh, hey, just wasn't how the game went or whatever. He could have just said that and left it alone. He broke it down and said, yeah, we drew up a play on a second, that play where he got sacked. We drew it up for Ronnie Stanley. Why'd you even say that?
I'll tell you why. Because this is Liam Neeson levels of unforced errors, and those only come from people who think they can't be touched. He knows he's not on the hot seat. He knows there's no danger of him getting fired. So who cares if he tells you how stupid he was during the game? You can't do anything about it, and Bisciotti's not going to do anything about it. He'll say what he wants.
That's exactly what it is. That's that smugness from John Harbaugh of, hey, you don't have to like it, but that's the way I called it. Didn't work out. Don't care. Don't care how you feel about it.
Yeah. Think I'll do it again. I'll call for Falele next time. What?
And those are the plays where I wish Lamar would channel just a tiny bit of Aaron Rodgers and just look over to the sideline and just say, that's a stupid call. We're doing something else. I wish Lamar in that moment would just be like, Ryan Stanley. No, we're not doing that. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to run the ball. Yeah. I wish he'd just do it. And you know what? Because Lamar makes that step every year, next year he will do it. Next year He's gonna start seeing some plays that he doesn't like, and he's like, yeah, we're not doing that. And
Yeah,
Harbaugh's gonna sit on the sideline and be like, okay.
he's gonna realize at some point, like, he's running out of time. Like he's not at the end, but he's about halfway through his career at this point. And John Harbaugh and the Ravens have wasted it.
Who was it that Aaron Rodgers? Who was the coach that Aaron Rodgers told that was a stupid call?
I think it was LaFleur. I think it
Nah,
was LaFleur.
it was Mike McCarthy.
No, I'm sure he did it McCarthy too, but the most recent one I think was LaFleur.
That one where where he's like looking over you, he say that's a stupid call.
Where he backed away from the huddle to make sure the camera could read his lips. Yeah, I think it was LaFleur.
I think it was McCarthy.
I don't remember, but I think it was LaFleur.
I'm gonna go with McCarthy because I'm about to say John Harbaugh, Mike McCarthy, same person. People when I made that first comparison, people said, "Man, that's a diss, man. Like he's not Mike McCarthy. They're the exact same person." And if you think it's a diss to call somebody Mike McCarthy, think about what kind of coach John Harbaugh really is.
Yeah.
Right. They have identical records, both won Super Bowls. Right. I think identical playoff records.
What's funny though is that they both had generational quarterbacks, and John couldn't win with his.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he said, "Nah, John is Jeff Fisher." No,
Jeff
he's
couldn't
better
win.
than Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher is a 500 career coach. He's better than Jeff Fisher. He's Mike McCarthy. Look up their stats. You can be like, sheesh, they are very close.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We can't be stuck on John Harbaugh because of the recent success. That has nothing to do with John Harbaugh. That is Lamar Jackson. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm about to say Philly's coach is a better coach.
I can't stand that dude.
I can't either. But this is his second Super Bowl.
Yeah. 0-2. Love it.
There's so many better options out there. You can't get stuck on what he did 12 years ago, right? And say, oh well, we can't do any better than Harbaugh. You can do a lot better than John Harbaugh. There's a bunch of coaches out there that I would feel comfortable with, in having more success. What Harbaugh's doing, that play right there, nah. If I'm Steve Bisciotti and I ask him after the game, like, hey, how come you didn't run the ball more at the goal line? And he brings up that play, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna talk tomorrow. Take the night, relax, whatever. Just come to my office, bring your playbook.
You're gonna talk to HR tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in that meeting.
You might get a letter. You might get an email saying you can resign or. All right. We're almost at the hour mark. We said we're going to keep this short.
Yes.
Let's discuss some Super Bowl real quick. There's no submitted questions, right?
No.
Okay, no submitted questions. Let's talk some Super Bowl real quick, and then we're going to get over to the overtime show. You want to be part of the overtime show, and this is an open mic night. So whatever you want to talk about, bring it up. We'll discuss it. We're gonna discuss the all-time draft. Okay, what quarterback would you draft first, all time? Right, if you can get any quarterback in their prime. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm gonna give you a little spoil right now. I'm going Lamar Jackson. All right, because Harbaugh, because my team won't have John Harbaugh on it as the head coach.
Right.
Okay, so I will go with Lamar Jackson over Pat Mahomes. But we'll break all that down. We'll build the ultimate team in the overtime show and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So go over to patreon.com/LBHT Show. Also, you see right here, that light's blocking a little bit, but it's LBHTShow.com. We got to change it. It says /shop. It's just LBHTShow.com. Right there on the first page, you can buy the merch. You can sign up for our newsletter. All right, check it out. Everything that you see us wearing right here is on that shop. Okay. All right. Yes. Congrats to Adrian on his podcast. Press Start 410. That's his podcast is going to be called Pause. It's coming out soon. So go subscribe over there and stay tuned. Felipe, Lamar over Brady? You're crazy. Here we go. Felipe, if we're doing an all-time draft, you can draft any player in their prime, right? If you think you're gonna win with Brady, you're crazy.
And I'll say what I always say: Tom Brady is the most accomplished player. He is not the best player.
Yes, we're not talking about. Hey, take this whole team. Which team would you take all time? We're talking about we're building a team from scratch. You can get any player, right, in their prime. Tom Brady is not the one you want to go with.
No.
All right. You can go Tom Brady. You're not going to win. All right. Belichick may not necessarily be the coach.
Right. And your next 15 picks better be O linemen.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, you know what, Felipe? Come over to the Overtime Show. We'll discuss it. All right. All right. Super Bowl 59. Who y'all got? I know B's going Chiefs.
Obviously, the Chiefs.
I'm going Eagles.
I mean, the Chiefs, like we keep talking about them, and it's true. Like they haven't been that offensive juggernaut that we've seen in the past. But man, the offense is stacked at this point. Just like last year, with Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy's really coming on in the playoffs. They've got Hollywood Brown back. They've got DeAndre Hopkins. They've got Juju Smith-Schuster. They've got Travis Kelce. They still got the O-line with Pacheco. They've got Kareem Hunt. And, of course, you have Pat Mahomes and a very talented defense with probably the best defensive coordinator in the league. And then also, obviously the best offensive coach maybe ever in Andy Reid. Like, there's no weaknesses over there, really.
Yeah. No doubt. He's a better coach than Sirianni. Man, Eagles have a lot of talent. I don't see the Chiefs stopping Saquon. I don't know, man. I'm going to Eagles. I think the Eagles will find a way to do it. I think it's going to be, and their defense is stacked. I think they can do enough to slow down the Chiefs. Obviously, the Chiefs, they're just a well-coached team, so they know how to stay in the game and just steal the game at the end of steal the win at the end of the game. But Saquon is the X factor here. And the one thing I can say about Sirianni is he actually knows how to use his running back in the playoffs.
He does indeed. Well, I'll say this, all jokes aside about Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's a talented guy. He's a good player. He's probably somewhere in that 8 to 12 range at quarterback. I think he makes one big mistake that costs him the game.
That could happen too. Obviously, nothing would surprise me in this game. Two of the best teams in the league are definitely representing the Super Bowl. But I'm gonna go with Philly this time, man. Who's the chat taking? What's up, Noah? Noah says until they show otherwise, KC. I hear you. MDT Sports says Philly. Ayo Fonz, what's good? Says, do the Chiefs have 4+ first round receivers and tight ends? Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. They have Hollywood. They got Hopkins. They got Worthy. They got Juju. Juju wasn't a first round pick though, right? I think he was a second round pick.
I think he was a second round pick, and I don't remember what round. Kelce, I believe, was a third round pick.
Yeah. But they have talent for sure. Felipe, Brady winning Super Bowl with Amendola, Edelman, Hogan. I think you're forgetting one person.
Who else was on that team, Julian? Was it maybe at the time the greatest tight end ever?
Yeah, you forget this one
guy who was unstoppable at that position and having the arguably the greatest coach ever and a great defense. Yeah. Is that what you're forgetting?
Yeah, a bunch of nobodies.
And also forgetting the fact that he cheated to win all of those Super Bowls.
Yeah. How was the O-line? How's the defense? Any Hall of Famers over there? No? Okay. All right. It's just all Brady, bunch of nobodies. Let's see. Brady was Derek Fisher, decent facilitator, but not the star just because he got the rings.
Damn, Derek Fisher is that is rough. I'm gonna give him more than Derek Fisher, but I like where you're going, Chris.
Yeah. I be saying I heard that Philly's defensive coordinator is winless against the Chiefs. Who's that coordinator?
I don't know who their defense coordinator is right now.
I don't either. Hey, but guess what? Everybody's winless against the Chiefs. Speaking of coordinators, Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator of the Eagles. I didn't know that until this last game, and they're saying he's in line to get the Saints job.
Well, he is now, since Mike McCarthy turned him down.
He turned him down.
Don't nobody want that job. Yeah, he said he's going to sit out this season. He said he's going to come back. I'm going to spin it again in 26 and see and hope it doesn't come up New Orleans.
You see that? A coach with morals. He was like, nah, I'm good, man. I'll wait.
Or maybe
how bad do you have to
maybe
be?
A coach who just knows himself, because they said in Green Bay he was getting massages in the facility. He's like, don't let me lose in New Orleans. Let me lose in New Orleans with a bad team too.
Watch Viz says, what else does Harbaugh need to win? We're gonna break this down in the video, right? We're gonna break it down, but he needs more talent. I keep saying Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill says, hey, it's time for me to leave Miami. I want to be traded. I want to compete. And that should be the move, right? Or somebody like T. Higgins or whoever, right? Like a top tier wide receiver and better O-linemen. The moves that the Panthers made this offseason, getting Damian Lewis and
Robert
Hunt, those are the two guards that the Ravens should have gotten. If the Ravens get those two guards, I think we're in the Super Bowl right now. Those are two excellent guards, right? Did they cost a lot? Yeah, and they're worth it. I don't really want to mess around with a rookie guard, but if we do, it needs to be in the first round. It needs to be somebody that, like Linderbaum, yes, he's a rookie, but he's legit. He might make some rookie mistakes, but for the most part, he can come in day one and hold down that position. I think we got a little lucky with Rosengarten, right? What you laughing at?
Felipe saying Lamar ain't beating that Falcons team down 21 like Brady did. Well, first of all, they were down 25. Second of all, Lamar wouldn't be down 25. Third of all, yes, they would. That team was coached by Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan. Why do you think Tom Brady came back in that game? It wasn't because Tom Brady's great. It's because the Falcons had no clue what they were doing. If they literally just it's going to be funny for Ravens fans. They literally just called a couple run plays. They wouldn't have had enough time to come back. They beat themselves. Tom Brady didn't beat them.
Do you think Lamar with a great O-line, one of the best ever tight ends, and Julian Edelman, and who's a running back? The running back was really good. I forget his name. But Julian Edelman, I would take Julian Edelman and Gronk over what we have right now. Right? I would like, you can't bring Gronk down. That was a safety valve.
Yeah.
Right? And it was a safety valve that you couldn't do anything about.
You would literally just throw it up in the vicinity and he would come down with it.
I think you need to go back and watch some of those games. Literally, they'll be at the goal line. Defense knows it's going to Gronk. They'll double team him. He'll throw it right to him, and he just shake those defenders off and catch the ball. You couldn't do anything about Gronk, right? Lamar would have never been down against that team. But yes, back to the Super Bowl. Yeah, man. Phil. Yeah, I hope Philly does it, man. I'm going for Philly in this game. And again, I'm not even hating against the Chiefs. If they do it, then they do it. I don't have any problem with Pat Mahomes. I don't want them to win. Okay, I want Philly to win. You can call me a hater. I don't care. I want Philly to win this time.
You are a hater. You should be rooting for Kansas City because your son is over here talking about Philly is actually his second home team, and he's probably just an Eagles fan.
My son makes sure he has all his bases covered to make sure he's going to celebrate one way or another. He does it right.
Okay, here. This. I have to say something to Felipe here because he's saying Lamar was down against the Bills D. I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, Tom Brady's lost playoff games as well. I don't know why you can't seem to remember that, but I remember Felipe a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago. I asked you a question because you were talking to us about how it wasn't the coach's fault and we were crazy trying to blame John Harbaugh. And I asked you, I believe it was when was the last time you saw a well coached John Harbaugh playoff game? I think that was the question I asked you, or something along those lines. Or why had they lost the exact same way in the playoffs in the last like 6 times they've been there? And you went ghost. You didn't have an answer. So let the next thing you type be the answer on John Harbaugh.
James White is a running back I'm talking about. James White had 14 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown in that game. He ain't running about much. 6 carries, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but they had I think LeGarrette Blount and somebody else as well on that team.
LeGarrette Blount was a running back. Look, man, I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you feel if you're saying that he was down against the Bills defense, does he have anybody that's comparable to Gronk? I mean, just answer that. Does he have anybody that's comparable to that? You know, like, I mean, I'm looking at the defense. Do we have anybody that's comparable to this defense? Trey Flowers, Kyle Van Noy was on this team. Malcolm Brown, Dante Hightower, Patrick Chung, Rob Ninkovich. I mean,
people like to ignore context. Like, you don't have to go that
Devin
far.
McCourty.
You're talking about a playoff choker coach in John Harbaugh, and again, arguably the greatest NFL coach in history.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing too.
No,
Like,
Felipe, no. I asked you specifically about John Harbaugh coaching in playoff games. When was the last time you think he did a good job in a playoff game? Or again, if you prefer, because I can't remember exactly how I worded it, why have they lost the exact same way the entire time that Lamar's been in the play in the NFL?
the game was his fault. You heard us talk about how he drew up a pass play at the 2-yard line for Ronnie Stanley. It was a play that Lamar got sacked on.
Also, Felipe, Noah from the top rope, Tom Brady lost against Nick Foles in the Super Bowl.
And Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson, the guy who got fired by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He also lost to Eli Manning twice. But, you know, it is what it is. All right.
Felipe, they played like crap in the first half against the Texans, and they started off the second half by letting the Steelers back into the game. What are we talking about here?
No. Say this for the overtime show. Say this for the overtime show. Okay, we'll discuss more of that. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. We're gonna go deeper into this. Felipe, you want to be a part of it? You know what to do. Okay. Anybody that wants to join this conversation, Patreon.com/LBHT Show. It's only $5. You got $5. Okay, I know you do. You all order DoorDash and Grubhub and all these places that steal your money. All right, order your food and drive and pick it up. That saves you $25 right there. Okay, these fees are out of control now. The fees are more than the food that you buy. So I just saved you $25. Take $5 out of the $25 I just saved you and go to patreon.com/LBHT Show. There it is right there. Sign up for a $5 tier, even a $10 tier. You get the $10 tier, I'll get you a nice coin. Okay? You got a nice coin right here. It's shiny. It's shiny. Look at that. That's our original logo right there, if you don't know. It's a microphone with a fork through it.
Well, not the original, but
it's the original, okay? And I stand by that. Nobody's seen the other one, all right? Except D Weezy. I think D Weezy's the only one that's seen that one.
I saw the one because I still have it saved on my phone. The one that's like a record and it has our two faces, like anime or cartoon versions of our faces on it. I was like, wow.
That wasn't even the first one. You know what the very first one was?
I know what the very first one was. I don't want to talk about that one.
It's a guy holding a brown paper bag. It's a lunch break hot take on it. Nobody's seen that one. Okay. Um, let's see. Who's this? STL Shock says, I don't think Chiefs will lose. They have worked so hard for 3 years. I don't think Reed, Spags, Kelsey, and Mahomes will lose it. With one game left, Mahomes will have fire in his eyes. And Chris Jones, I hear you. I'm not even going to disagree. I'm picking Philly, but I'm not. No matter what team you go for, I'm not going to argue. Okay, these are two of the top teams in the league, and you're absolutely right. They did work hard for this moment. Like, this is not accident. Pat Mahomes, after they won a Super Bowl last year, I'll never forget. He's being interviewed, and I can't remember who it was that interviewed him, but she was like, "Yeah, congratulations." He's like, "Oh no, we're not done." Like he's like, "Oh no, we're not done. We got a bunch of young guys. We're gonna be right back here next year." And that was not just platitudes or anything like that. He was dead serious. He's like, "No, don't congratulate me yet. Congratulate me when it's done. We're not done."
And they get Rashee Rice back next year too. And talk about a team who,
that's right.
if they, I don't think they will, but if they wanted to, had the luxury to sit there and take Ashton Genty.
And remember, I remember us talking about this after they won last year, and I said, how hard is it really to have expectations to win a Super Bowl? Because we always talk about how hard it is to get there. But for one team, they expect to be there.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even get off the field yet. He didn't even get his pads off yet. And he's saying, we're not done. The season's over. You won.
That's why I can't stand people who say it's hard to win. Because my response is always, somebody does it every year. It ain't that hard. It gets done every year. You know what's hard? Winning the like the Triple Crown in horse racing, winning the Derby, the Belmont, and all, and the Preakness. That's hard. That doesn't happen all that often.
Right.
Somebody wins the Super Bowl every single season. It has to happen.
Yeah.
Just decide that you're going to be that team.
And I'm gonna ask you guys, because we get asked this all the time. Oh well, if you fire Harbaugh, who are you gonna get? Okay, well, Harbaugh's been the coach of Lamar for 7 years. No coach and quarterback combination has ever won if it hasn't gotten done in 5 years. When is he gonna do it? Because I'm only talking to the people that don't want to really see any kind of change. The people that don't want to see a Tyreek Hill or a T. Higgins or whatever. I say Tyreek Hill, but whatever top wide receiver that we have a chance to get, that they don't ever want to get that guy. They don't ever want to spend the money on that guy, right? I'm talking to the person that always wants us to go and get defense in the first round of the draft, right? That's always like, we need to get an edge rusher. I'm talking to that person. What do you think is going to take to get it done? Right? What do you think is going to take to get it done? What edge rusher do you think we need to get? Right? Or just anybody? What cornerback do you think we need to get? Because we got to get cornerback. Brandon Stevens testing free agency. We're not bringing him back. Right? We just drafted a cornerback, but hey, we got to have 3, right? So what do you think is going to take? We tell you all the time that it has to be on offense. You got to secure that O-line. You got to get a legit threat at wide receiver, right? And the move should have been Saquon for us, not Derrick Henry. As much as I love seeing Derrick Henry run this year, we're going to be asking this question again next year or this offseason. Can he do it again next year? Because he'll be 31? Maybe he has another year in him. Maybe he starts to slow down. We don't know. But we're not going to have this question about Saquon next year. We know he's going to do it. Right? But we got to run it back with him. Fine. He looked good. He didn't look like he was slowing down at all. We'll see about next year. But don't put it all on him. Get somebody else out there that can really have those defenses up late at night thinking like, what are we going to do? Are we going to stop? We're going to try to stop Tyreek, or are we going to try to stop Derrick Henry? Like, that's what it's going to take.
I'm looking at the playoff teams, and there's only 2 coaches, I think, in the entire playoff field that I wouldn't take over John Harbaugh, and that's Todd Bowles and Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Every other coach, every other team that made the playoffs has a coaching advantage over Baltimore. All of them. That's a tough place to win from. Especially when you refuse to go out and get the talent.
That's tough, but I agree. I mean, we can go through them, but I mean, no, I agree. I agree. Harbaugh is just complacent, and Harbaugh's only complacent because of how great Lamar's been. If Lamar didn't elevate his game every year, he would either change up or he'd be fired.
Yeah.
He got lucky twice. He got lucky because he almost got fired Lamar's rookie year. He was 1 week away from getting fired. Most, allegedly.
Yeah.
Right? Most people think it was 1 week away.
I know Lamar looking back on that rookie season like, God damn it. Why?
Right. I should
if I could do one thing differently,
I would have lost that first game.
I would have sat out the rest of that offseason or that regular season.
No, he just had to play bad for one game. I would have played bad that first game, lose that game. Not even play bad, lose the game, and then he'd have been fired.
Felipe, why do you think that EDC will get Adams when he's been available twice and you have not gotten him?
I like Devontae Adams too. If we get Devontae Adams, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, of course, everybody would be happy with him, but he's been available twice, and you have not gotten him. Why would you think that he's going to go and get him?
Yeah, because I don't think he's a free agent, right? I think he still has.
I don't know. I don't think he's a free agent, but regardless, it doesn't matter what his status is. How many great wide receivers have been available in the last 7 years, and how many has Baltimore gotten? 0.
Yeah, they're not going to change. EDC's not going to change either, right? Because in their mind, it's another successful year. They're disappointed they didn't get a Super Bowl, but all in all, they didn't expect to be this good. I hear everybody talking about how the Bills weren't expected to be a good team this year, and they won a division and a number 2 seed. The Ravens weren't expected to be this good, and that's by their own organization. EDC said next year for the O-line. Meaning he didn't expect them to be good this year. They'll get together next year. If you don't expect your O-line to be good, you're not expecting to win. Right? Not saying you can't overcome it because, Cincinnati did and got to the Super Bowl, but you're not expecting that. Cincinnati wasn't expecting that. If you don't think you have a good O-line, you don't think you're winning that many games. That's how crucial that position is, or that unit is. So for him to say, next year, they'll get together, because he knew he didn't invest in that O-line. We've got some young guys in here, and we hope that they develop. And it probably won't be this year, but maybe next year. That means you didn't expect to win.
Yeah.
And we overachieved.
And think about that. Think about that honestly. You didn't expect the O-line to be any good. You didn't, so you weren't really expecting to compete this year, and you combine that with signing the 30-year-old running back.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting that out of Derrick Henry. They weren't expecting the O-line to be that good. They signed Derrick Henry so y'all would shut up, and they thought, hey, he'll come in here, he'll have an okay season, he'll be on his way out, and then, we'll go and draft a running back in the 3rd or 4th round and keep it moving. That's what they expected.
Yeah. Like Nigerian Nightmare says it. For a GM to say that is insane. They say a lot of insane things that people just kind of like, okay. For John Harbaugh to say, yeah, we were trying to pass it to Ryan Stanley at the 2-yard line in a divisional round of playoffs that we lost by 2 points. We had Derrick Henry at the 2-yard line, ran it the first time, didn't work, so we decided to pass to left tackle. That's insane. Mm-hmm. And people were kind of like, oh, okay. What? Excuse me? But he did a good job in that game. It wasn't Harbaugh's fault they lost. Really? All right. We're going to be discussing this all season. The only thing we can do here is just pointing out what they're doing wrong and what they do right. When they do something right, we point that out too. But we focus on the things that they need to do to win a Super Bowl. If they don't do it, it is what it is. What you laughing at?
Felipe said, what we're going to do with 10 to 12 picks. You new here, Felipe? You're going to draft 12 players, and you're going to cut 4 of them, and then you're going to put 3 more of them on IR for the entire year and talk about what a great value draft it was.
Felipe says Stanley will be gone. They will put Roger at left tackle, and they will not pay him. Uh, I'm gonna tell you right now, if they don't bring back Ryan Stanley, we're not winning anything. I'm telling you that right now. If they do not bring back Ryan Stanley, and Ryan Stanley is going to get paid as he should, they were stupid enough to not extend him. If they don't bring him back, we're not winning anything. They're not going to bring back anybody that's going to be able to replace him. Do you think they're going to draft a left tackle? Where are we picking? 27th?
Somewhere.
We're not getting a left tackle at 27th. Do you think they're going to package some picks and move up to get the left tackle? They're not going to do that. Do you think they're going to spend money on anybody in free agency? If they're not going to pay Ryan Stanley, they're not going to pay anybody. So that's the first thing. We'll know early on. We'll know early on if we're going to compete next year. If Ryan Stanley signs somewhere else, we're cooked. Right? We've seen what life was like without Ryan Stanley before.
And moving Roger Rosengarten doesn't make any sense. You know, he just finished his rookie year. It was a successful rookie year. Leave him where he's at. Let him play the right tackle spot. Let him hold that down. You've got one of the better left tackles in the league. He's only, 31, I believe. There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason to upset the tackle situation in Baltimore. None.
They've tried it already.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it was a complete disaster. That's when Lamar got hurt. So that is going to be such a big move. Doesn't get talked about enough, but they have to get Ryan Stanley signed. They can sign him before free agency. You can't let him hit free agency, man, because if you do, somebody's going to pay more. And there is no plan B. This team never has a plan B for offensive linemen. So that's the first and foremost, get Ryan Stanley signed. And then next thing is focus on getting O-line. I prefer getting veterans at guard. Kevin Zeitler is a free agent. Bring him back. You know, there's some other guys out there that are quality. But if you want to draft high. Draft somebody that you plan on keeping here for a long time. Right.
I'm just, again, I mean, it's time for us to get out of here. But I'm going to close this show by saying I'm still disgusted by the slander that y'all throw on a weekly basis at Pro Bowler Daniel Falele. Y'all have one question mark on the line. It's left guard.
I tell you what, we will trade you because he's young. We'll trade you Daniel Falele for a Lewis or Hunt.
Why would we do that? I didn't say he was the best. I didn't say he was the best right guard in the league. I said he's a Pro Bowl right guard.
B's even more disgusted by that trade offer.
Our guards are better, but you have a Pro Bowl right guard. Look to your left, my friend. Okay?
I'm gonna clip that.
Look to your left and see Pat McCarry and Andrew Voorhees and tell me that Pro Bowler Daniel Falele is the problem. Okay,
he's a problem. Every game, I pointed this out early, and coaches pointed this out. Every game, there's at least one play where he's standing there not knowing,
repelling the defense. We've gone over this multiple times.
It's bad enough that you don't know who to block. You don't even know who to touch. You're just standing there.
Defenders, they are not near enough to him for him to touch anybody. They won't go near him. All he has to do is stay in front of Lamar. Lamar will never get hit.
He is awful.
Is he? Or is he in the Pro Bowl?
All right, we're getting out of here. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's where you can find us next. All of our Patreon members, get ready. The overtime show is going to start in a couple minutes. Everybody else, have a great night. Thank you for hanging with us. Stay with us. I know it's the off season. I know our team's not in the Super Bowl, but as you can see by tonight, we still have a lot to discuss. Panthers fans too, we ain't forget about you guys. It's a little quiet right now, but we're gonna wrap up that stuff. We've been putting out a lot of videos, so just keep your notifications on. All right. No football this weekend, but next week is Super Bowl week, so we're gonna talk about that, and we'll probably cover the Super Bowl as well. But that's it. We're out of here. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
B is ready. Y'all have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.